Greetings, fellow YouTuber. My name is Tim. It's hot. It just doesn't bother you at all, does it?
I am a tropical being. Zulu, Maasai, Naya Binky.
I wasn't going to go there. I swear I wasn't going to go there. Greetings, fellow YouTuber. My name is Tim, along with special guest, occasional guest co-host, Chris DJ OPM King. Welcome to this week's Slop Fest we lovingly call GainerWorld Live, that weekly get-together where we, well, strangely enough, get together. Not really. I mean, we don't really, get together or anything like that.
It's not a get-together per se. It's
kind of an interpersonal social gathering.
So for those of you out there that are missing Plopsy right about now, there's a reason.
Yes,
that Plopsy
a very good reason for that.
Me and Plopsy went out last night, kind of tied one on.
Yeah.
He's kind of waiting on his hair to grow back. Let's put it like that. Yeah. He lost a bet, and he ain't happy about it.
After that third Jaeger bomb, it was just kind of like,
Yeah, I don't know. And little tiny guy, he shouldn't be drinking.
He swears he can handle it.
He swears he can, but he can't. He can't.
No, he cannot. And especially,
when you're standing up on the bar and singing Tooraloo-Raloo-Ra.
Yeah.
No.
Besides, nobody likes Dexy's Midnight Runners anyway.
Not at all.
No,
not at all.
But anyway.
Oh, come on, Tim.
Yeah. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. You thought I missed that.
Oh, I swear.
Anyway. But it's everything to me, okay?
At this moment.
Yeah, at this moment. Exactly. No, that's Billy Vera. That's another one altogether. But, welcome to a very, very hot GainerWorld International Complex somewhere in the Midwestern United States.
It is currently hotter than Satan's scrotum.
Oh, my God. This is ridiculous. This is nuts.
I don't know if you all realize just how hot that is.
That's pretty hot.
Yeah.
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 How hot is that, Chris? It's so hot he can't even think of a punchline. That's how hot it is.
I got nothing.
I don't blame you. I don't blame
nothing.
you. Yeah. And so now you understand why there's siesta time down south. So an update on what's going on. Apparently we've reached epidemic proportion. And the reason I say that is because, first off, if you are, let me just say that if you're new to our little get together here, our little clam bake, come on in the chat room and say hi. Little sister from the CO. Oh yeah, she's doing that this evening. Liz Jack is in there as always, and Judy says it's a balmy 82 with a breeze here in the CO. Yeah, it's 82 here. And normally that would be a good thing, except for the room that we're in right now is also 82.
Well, not only that, but it's 82 right now. Earlier today, it was like 91. Yeah. And then on top of that, it's gonna be really messed up this weekend. Holy crap!
Not good.
Yeah.
There is an update on the AC situation here in the GainerWorld International Complex. And
hold on.
Go right ahead.
Ready?
Go. There is none. And that is to say no AC. So yes, the entire AC unit has to be replaced. And we're waiting for a guy to come in tomorrow.
That makes two of us.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't have to follow my lead on that one, dude.
I'm sorry. I found out about mine first. It's you copying me.
Yeah, that is true. I must admit that is
Biter,
true. Yeah.
get your own material.
Did you see the banner when the show started?
And here's the messed up thing about it. Tim's AC has the exact same problem that mine does.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if we're supposed to be like,
talk about ironic. I mean, it's nuts. That was horrible.
So you texted me this morning and went, okay, my blower motor shot and the compressor's going.
Yep.
And then 3 hours later,
not even the blower motor, but the evaporator fan.
Yeah.
On the unit itself. Yeah. That's pretty much gone. The condenser is gone, or the compressor, not the condenser.
Right.
The compressor's gone. So that was that. Next thing I know, Tim comes telling me, hey, guess what? What? Compressor's gone. I said, yeah, I know. I told you that yesterday. He was like, no, mine.
Yeah. Oh, my Lord.
Like, would you do your own thing? I mean, we just can't have nothing.
No.
I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about my people.
Oh,
we just can't have nothing.
Can't have no nice things.
Because cultural appropriation, like I do the broken compressor first, and then here you come along stealing it from me.
Hey,
that's so bogus.
Apparently, rock and roll wasn't good enough. But
apparently,
but
shut up.
I'm the emancipator. But no, the funny part of it though was how we got to all this. So Judy says, love being a homeowner. Today found out there may be cracks in the foundation pushing water up and causing the floor and the wall to be all squishy.
Sounds like you're having a blast.
Oh, well, at least your house is cool. I'm just saying. And if the lighting's a little weird, you have to forgive us because you may hear all kinds of noises in the studio.
We've got the windows open so that we don't bake.
We've got a box fan sitting over by Chris where if it gets really bad, he's going to turn it on and really mess everybody up.
Yeah, and you're going to hear a lot of this.
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful.
I'm sure you're not looking forward to that.
Yeah,
but,
in stereo with that.
I will sacrifice the whole show for my comfort.
That's because you are a professional, sir.
Darn tootin'.
You better believe it. The show must go on. It's funny as anything because the way that the way this whole thing started. Now, last week I talked about how I was trying to get somebody in here and nobody could find a ladder to, find out. To go up on the roof and look at the...
Which amazes me.
That it was nuts. 5 people I called. And nobody had a ladder tall enough.
So if you've got standard 8-foot ceilings in here, that means that between the first and second floor, that's 16 feet and maybe another 2 or 3 to get to the rooftop itself.
So a standard
24-foot ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody had one. Allegedly,
because they're just not participating in the well functioning of their business.
Liz just brought it up beautifully. Last week you were in a coat. That's true. That's very true. Last week I was sitting here in a coat because it was so cold out. The exterminator, Judy says, the exterminator told us today when he came out to do the ant and spider infestation. Good Lord. And we did not have air conditioning, and we do not have air conditioning at all.
Okay, you're talking about an ant and spider infestation.
Wow.
Count your blessings. And I say this because I was watching a video earlier today where this homeowner had gotten... it looks like their drywall was kind of peeling on one side.
Okay.
So they cut behind the drywall. And there's a beehive.
Oh, nice.
3 sections of honeycomb.
Oh, good Lord.
Wow. The person that was removing it removed the 3 sections of honeycomb. And there were 5 more sections behind that.
Wow.
So she had an entire bee colony in her house that was starting to build out so far that it was eating through the drywall. You could see where there was a little tiny pinhole where they had started to try and break through.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I would have just set the house on fire.
Yeah, Judy says I win. 2 ants' nests removed today. She had. And Carl Keegan, our wonderful little gay Irish teddy bear. Happy Pride Month, Carl.
And you know, it's so wonderful how he says hello to Liz and Judy at the same time.
Did you notice that?
I did.
What a gentleman.
Isn't he?
What a great guy. Doesn't say hi to the people on it's on the screen, though.
He's a wee gentle soul.
They're always after his Lucky Charms. And you know what I'm talking about.
Potato.
Yeah, you might, Rabbit, you might. But anyway, I'm sorry. I have to do that every time I see you, Carl. I don't know why. Anyway, so yeah, no, but this whole thing started. I've got to tell this story because it's so ridiculously funny. So I called 5 different people. Nobody had a ladder tall enough to get up on top of. And the reason I say this is because I live in a townhouse and my air conditioning unit is on the roof of the townhouse. Okay. So nobody. Okay. And I love Carl. The only reason why I'm here, says Donna Abbott. Hi, Donna.
Okay,
We love you too.
You know what? You know what, Donna? You know what? The only reason that you're here is because of Carl. We can always kick Carl out of the chat room.
Oh,
then what?
no. Wait, no.
Shush.
I'm pretty sure.
This is between me and Donna.
Oh, okay.
Then what? Then what? What you gonna do then? Huh?
We could always tell her the secret.
Don't tell her the secret.
Yeah.
Don't keep it to yourself.
I think it's gonna. Yeah, it's gonna be up to Carl to tell her.
Let her wonder about that.
Yeah, no,
That's
understand.
fine.
I understand. I understand. So I'm trying to find somebody to
Some
work.
peace of mind.
Yeah, all I want is some peace of mind. If I can reference Tom Scholes here,
you can.
But yeah, we'll get to the sinkhole in a minute. But yeah, home ownership has been fun so far, especially in the course of the last 2 weeks. But so my assistant comes in for work this morning, you know, as is always wont to do, you know. Hey, morning, Tim. How you doing? How's every little thing? Oh, you didn't get the AC fixed. All right, we'll make a couple of calls. You know, we'll start working on this, that, and the other thing. And all of a sudden, a van drives by the front of the house. What was that? It was a van. No. What did it say? It said ABC. ABC Heating and Cooling, and goes blasting out the door and is literally running down the street. Hey, I need to talk to you. And I'm like, what in the hell is happening? So I go running outside, running after her, who was running after the truck. The truck finally stops around the back of the complex. And there are 2, I kid you not, I cannot make this up. There were 2 other people walking up to this truck. It was like the Good Humor Man had come to the neighborhood and all the kids were running up to it to get a toasted almond. It was the most ridiculous thing. Yes!
Air conditioning! Get your air conditioning!
Wet teddy bears!
Air
Get your
conditioning!
Wet teddy bears here! Oh my God! It was it was absolutely like that. And I ran up to the guy and said, "Dude, you're the most popular guy in the neighborhood right now, you know." And so finally, we get to talk to him, and he calls out another truck. And, this guy comes out, hey, how you doing? Mr. Gainer, how's every little thing? And, yeah, air conditioning up top. Well, why has nobody else looked at it? Nobody had a ladder big enough. What?
Yeah. Nobody wanted to do it. That's what the problem was.
That's the bottom line. Because he went, and the truck is parked right in front of my place. Mm-hmm. And he's like, watch this. Takes down the ladder. Mm-hmm. Right up to the top of the roof. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what the? He's, nah, I should have ended your relationship when I had the chance. What? Huh? Wait a minute. Be nice. I made you. Oh, Donna is telling you, be nice. I made you and Tim. I should have ended your relationship when I had the chance.
Made us
She
what?
made us what? Yeah, that's what I want to know.
You had absolutely nothing to do with, other than like onboarding me in some training.
Maybe, yeah. And actually, you and I go back a lot longer than you and Chris.
Yeah.
So there's something else to think about. Oh.
I'll tell you who was responsible for me and Tim. MU City Games.
Yes.
That's who was responsible for me and Tim.
Yes, that is who's entirely responsible.
Okay? It's his fault.
Yes.
You want to off somebody, you off MU City Games. That's all it is.
And we'll be more than glad to give you the address. We have no problem with that. So yeah. So, he went up and he just basically told me, this is shot, that's shot. This thing's like almost 30 years old. It was bound to happen anyway. I'm like, oh, all right. So I actually got a call from the head of the company that came out today. And he's like, I'll be out there in the morning. We'll get you fixed. No problem. So, yeah. So my morning is planned.
Yeah.
My morning's planned tomorrow.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
I got, Donna, that would have been cool for you to do, except for the fact that we pretty much immediately got Janelle, which I didn't really like. Yeah. So I while you were trying to get rid of the both of us, I am actually glad that I had you as opposed to the J person.
Yes.
Because do you know how hard it is to? I'm glad coffee was free.
Dig it. Yeah, I can understand that.
And
if anybody knows Janelle, please do not replay this section of the show for her. But anyway, both you and Tim should have kicked you both out of training. Sure. I was the one that kept you awake. Tell the truth.
Yeah, you would have had to fight Tim W. over that one.
Yeah, absolutely. And Carl says it was my fault ruining their podcast. You didn't ruin anything, Carl.
We actually invited you in. We were trying to get some diversity.
Do you remember that? Yeah. The white guy and the black guy wasn't bad enough. We needed a gay Irish guy, too. Oh, there you go. Just hold on.
You said it enough times while she was on, so
yeah,
it doesn't matter.
But what? Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Attention.
It doesn't matter.
Let's call it what it is.
It doesn't matter.
So, yeah. So that's happening this week. And then there's the matter of the sinkhole. Did you see that? In front of the house? Yeah.
That one?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, Bubba.
I did see that. Yep.
Yeah, Bubba. Again, thank you to my assistant who came to work one morning. And just, my car almost got ruined. What happened to your car? There's a sinkhole out there. There's no sinkhole. I mean, it's getting warm. Maybe the asphalt might have, collapsed a little. Might be buckling. No. There's
a pothole.
That's not a pothole. That is an 8-inch sinkhole. This thing is down there. That is not a pothole, my friend. That thing is deep. A pothole is at least you've got like bedrock under the asphalt.
So here's my impending question.
Okay.
What is the homeowners association doing about it?
I'm glad you asked that question because I talked to the manager of this particular establishment.
We ain't doing nothing.
Yeah. No. I got your sinkhole right here. And I sent a letter to the association. And he has also taken pictures, and he's gotten maintenance people scheduled as well. But again, we're going on a week, 10 days. So
again, my question remains:
What is the
homeowners association doing about it that likes to dictate so many things, like I don't know, parking?
Yeah. Oh, don't start.
I'm sorry. I'm still salty about that.
No sinkhole. Donna Ab says no sinkholes in the corn. No sinkholes in the corn.
Only children in the corn.
That's right.
That's all.
If you build it, they will come.
No, forget about if you build it, they will come. We're talking about the little kids who worship He who walks behind the rose.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
Rectus Dominus. So,
That reminds me, there was this great picture. Somebody had a picture today of, if you remember that iconic shot of all four, like Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, and Ernie Hudson in Ghostbusters. They're all standing there with their, the ectoblasters in their hands.
Yeah.
Somebody replaced those with guitars. So it looked like like the Outlaws.
That's awesome.
The front line of the Outlaws.
That's awesome.
And people were making up lines. And they were taking, lines from the movie. Mm-hmm. If somebody says you're Jimi Hendrix, if somebody asks you if you're Jimi Hendrix, you say yes! Tell them about the Rickenbacker. I collect Squires and Stratocasters. I just brought that up. I don't know why. Is this one of those? Yeah. There's that. Yep, and they have a message for you both. Tristan Roth is saying hello. Hello, Tristan. Thank you for joining us this evening. We certainly do appreciate it. And boy, did you come on a good night, because we're all hot and bothered.
Hello there, Tristan. What's it like in New York City? Whatever. Anyway, so
Today, and ladies and gentlemen, today is Tristan's birthday. It's Tristan's birthday.
Today's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Anyway, so
Happy birthday, Tristan, from all of us at GainerWorld. We appreciate it, and we
I
appreciate
hope that
you.
was your preferred birthday song.
And if it wasn't
if
too
it
bad,
wasn't,
because it's low
that's
budget.
the only one, and it's warm up here, and I'm
Yeah,
starting to
it's
perspire a little
hot.
bit. So
It's
I'm not
really
about
hot.
to.
If
I'm
you-
not about to do that over
Yeah,
again.
if you haven't watched the first part of the show, you're gonna have to wait for the replay, because we're not going over this again.
Nope, not in that.
No,
Yep.
we can only do so much, birthday or not. I'm just saying.
Yep.
Happy birthday, Tristan! Everybody's saying today's my birthday. Thank you, Tristan. And thank you for joining us. I can't think of a better way for you to spend your birthday than with this fine piece of entertainment.
Oi, Gewalt, I'm schwitzing over here.
with the schmutzing in the
What is this?
I'm telling you, dude, it's ridiculous. Oh my God! Between that and my assistant trying to kill me today. Yeah.
I didn't hear about this one.
I didn't tell you about this.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So
No.
with everything going on, with trying to buy a door, and yes, the phone lines are open, as you can hear. The phone lines are opening. I don't know. We're gonna find out in a second. This is one of those times that I really wish that I had like a Bluetooth situation, because Sister Judy has sent me. Oh my God, there is a puddle. Okay, this just in from Little Sister. There's a puddle of water just found around the water heater. There's some kind of foam or something, probably toxic. F it, I'm getting drunk. And she sent a picture.
Okay,
oh my
there's
God. This is a picture of her water heater. Yeah. When it rains, it pours.
Or when the water heater's going, it pours, apparently.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yes, Judy, I must admit.
Oh, it's easy to tell what that is. Just lick it. That'll tell you instantly what
It's only
that foam
it's only
is.
water.
It's only foam.
It's only water.
No, actually, to be honest with you, if the water is coming from a little bit higher than what that's gonna be, it's gonna be like the hard water deposits that are coming out of it, and that's kind of what you got going there. I've seen that before, but
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so get drunk.
I am reminded of the word at this moment. I am reminded of the words of the late great John Belushi in that cinematic masterpiece, Animal House.
I'm a zit.
Better. My advice to you is to start drinking heavily. Anyway, no, not drunk enough yet. Apparently, because you're still able to tight.
You'll get there.
Give it time. It's an hour show.
Give it a minute.
It's an hour show.
It's all right.
So, no, with everything going on, I'm trying to buy a door, which I know it sounds stupid, but
It doesn't sound stupid.
No, I want to replace the front door. Okay, because it's like the original door that came with the unit when it was
the
built
door is
in the
broken.
60s. Well,
yes.
Well, I mean, it's not so much broken as it is. It's just it's 60 years old.
Plus,
okay,
it's a solid door. Like
I agree.
This is back before they started making doors out of plywood and pressboard and whatnot, dude. Really.
The door that I'm looking at is steel. I mean, we're talking like the only way you're going to be able to get through here is with a blowtorch.
Oh, trust me, you can't get through that one either.
I don't know.
If you've got a decent deadbolt on that door, you can't get through that one. Even if you kick it at the deadbolt at the door jamb, you still can't get through that thing.
I suppose, but
I mean, just because of the materials that everything was constructed with.
Well, yes,
it's a different era these days.
No, I understand that. Well, I mean, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think this whole place was built in like 1969, and so that's the original door. It's a wooden door.
Yeah, but it's a heavy wooden door.
It's a heavy wooden door, but like everything else, my particular unit faces north.
Quality.
It's
the quality went in before the name goes on.
It's craftsmanship. I understand that.
It's more than craftsmanship, dude. Holy cow.
But anyway,
that door was made by Amish people. I'm just saying.
No.
That's indestructible.
No. The new one that I'm getting is being made by Amish people. And I know that.
How?
I know that because my door representative.
It's a metal door. How?
Apparently. Okay. Little sister has a bottle of Chopin and three, it looks like Tecates, lined up already. Happy trails, Jude. That's all I'm going to say. Boom buddy ba dum buddy ba dum buddy ba doo ba dum buddy ba dum buddy ba dum buddy ba doo. Happy trails to you until we meet again. So I'm trying to get this door, and I've got the AC going, or not going, as it were. And it's just like...
You got that going for you.
Well, no, I don't. Well, yeah, look at the money I'm saving.
Right.
But so, and I woke up. I came down and I just had a headache. I'm like, could you please go into the kitchen, grab the aspirin bottle? I need a couple of aspirin for my head. Comes back with these 3 tablets and the bottle. I take these tablets, put them down with the water. Everything's fine. Then I look at the bottle. These were not aspirin that I received.
Da, da, da.
My assistant attempted to assassinate me today because I was given 3... I don't know. I can't remember what the chemical name for it is, but just think of like a Zantac or a Zyrtec or something like that. Not a Zantac.
I was about to say,
just something for heartburn.
Yeah, it's an acid reducer.
An acid reducer. Thank you.
Like a Pepsid. It's omeprazole. I know what it is.
A retinidine or something like that.
I have been in hospitals and emergency rooms so much over the last 14 years that I'm a walking pharmacology.
I was gonna say, Squib ain't got nothing on you. I'm just saying. But so I'm looking at the bottle. And I'm looking at her going, what the hell did you just do? Well, I'm sorry. I didn't have my glasses on.
Omeprazole or Ratidine or something.
Ratidine.
Okay, there you go.
There you go. Yep. Had 3 of those. Not just 1, but 3.
So look at the bright side.
My kidneys are clear. Because what an acid reducer does, and anybody who's ever had this knows what I'm talking about. But what it does is it neutralizes the acid, and then you have to
neutralize the stomach acid. That's all
and
it
you
is.
have to pee it out.
Well,
for the most part,
depending on which one you do.
Right.
But for the most part, you take this acid reducer. I mean, the worst possible case scenario is the food that you ate tonight just won't get digested.
Wonderful.
It's like,
oh, great.
Worst things could happen.
My God.
Worst things could happen.
You are just a walking ball of happy, aren't you? Oh my God. So yeah. And that's just some of the fine family entertainment that we have here at GainerWorld this evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Donna, among other things.
Okay, people want to know, why do you have an assistant? You have no job.
That you know of.
Yeah, exactly.
Pimping ain't easy.
Unless you're me. Does she help you get dressed?
As I said, among other things.
No, but she's really good at feeding me oatmeal.
And making sure that he drinks his Ensure. Chocolate flavor today, Tim. It's your favorite.
I like chocolate.
Which is why he has me as a sidekick. Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Oh, God.
The struggle is real.
That happened today, too. Oh, my God. Before she left for the day, she pulls out this chocolate ice cream bar. She's getting ready to pull out this chocolate ice cream bar out of the refrigerator because we just have snacks and stuff like that hanging around the office. And she, Chris, do you like chocolate?
And I go, of course I like chocolate. I love chocolate. I'm delicious. Have some?
It's like, look at him, for God's sake.
That was
What do you think?
It was the perfect setup because it reminds me of the Nutty Professor with Jerry Lewis.
Yes.
When he was standing on the floor standing on the dance floor with Stella Purdy, and he was like, "Yeah, just this morning I was looking at myself in the mirror and I couldn't tear myself awake. Have some?" And I was like, that has got to be the coolest line from the corniest dude that I have ever heard.
Yes. This is the struggle is real. TMI. Yes, it is. And stop asking questions. You know better on this show. Oh, God, not going there. Why not? We already did. It's
pretty
all right.
much.
Enjoy
pretty
yourself.
Much. Yep.
Yeah, so I got to get another assistant. I've already decided. This is nuts. So you have no job. Yeah, I do. I'm doing this now, and I'm playing music, and I have a new single out, by the way. I don't know if you've heard about it or not, but in case you haven't, you'll be happy to know that.
Yeah, ain't nobody supposed to hear this.
No, ain't nobody going to hear this. In fact, you're not supposed to hear this, which is the single of the new song, the title of the new single, He Said Tongue-Tied, which is available now on all streaming services and my website at timgainer.com. Please pick it up. It is a great song. I think so. It's one of my favorites, one of my best, I feel, and I think that you really get into it. Donna says she's heard it. Well, thank you, Donna. I appreciate that, and I want everybody to hear it.
Yeah, but you weren't supposed to.
That's right. She wasn't. Think about that.
Speaking of music, though.
She should have given her a raise.
Speaking of music,
yeah, go ahead.
Revisiting
yes,
the conversation that we had a couple days ago.
About?
I'm curious as to what everybody thinks. Now,
I know which one. Go ahead.
Yeah, we had this conversation.
Yeah.
It was me, it was my business partner, DJ Flint, a.k.a. James, and Tim. And we had just gotten back from dinner, and we were talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. Okay. My business partner posits that it should be called the Music Hall of Fame because of the individuals that have been inducted. I thought that there should be multiple different halls of fame that cover overarching genres. Mm-hmm. Okay. And individuals that have done something influential to shape or change the landscape of that particular genre need to be inducted into that Hall of Fame, because as far as I'm concerned, everybody else that followed are exactly that. They're followers. They're not innovators, right? Tim was kind of on the same page with me, but then there were some things that James was bringing up that he felt like James had a point. I personally thought that, you know, the both of them were full of stuffing and nonsense, because every Hall of Fame that I have seen has been individuals that have been innovators in whatever that happened to be. Like, you go to the Museum of Science and Industry and you see about the Wright brothers, right? And you see the first 737, and you see all the designs of as the airplane evolved, right? But you won't see the Wright brothers plane and then the 6 other dudes that copied the Wright brothers plane right next to it. You know what I mean? So, like, why would you do that for music? Because it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, and I understood where he was coming from. Okay, in James' defense, I understand where he was coming from, because, you know, when you get right down to it, music is music is music is music. Okay,
true.
But because of especially over the course of the last 45, 50 years, the recording conspiracy, it's not going to hurt you. I have no idea what she's talking about. But it's not going to hurt you. I so agree. I understand, because of the way that the recording conspiracy has broken down everything. You know, everything has to have an identification.
Yeah.
Pop music, country music, alternative music, rock music, hip-hop music, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So to that end, I understand. To James's end, I understand. In the final analysis, all music is all-encompassing, regardless of genre. But reality dictates these days that it's going to be pigeonholed. And the main thing that we were talking about was people like, you know, okay, like, for example, Jay-Z this year got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that would constitute Jay-Z getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Until you get into his, like, business management strategies for that type of music.
But that's business.
And I get that, but some of the ways that he transformed the business itself kind of helped to transform the landscape. And I understand why they would want to pull him towards being in there, because without the business side of it, music still exists, but its popularity wouldn't. And that is kind of transformative of not necessarily the genre, but music overall.
Right.
But for me, like I say, you gave a perfect example, right? We were talking about Run DMC and how they did the collaboration with Aerosmith, right? And they got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, like one of the first rap groups that got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And I understand why they would be. But then we started talking about how Rick Rubin was the catalyst behind them actually dipping into the rock milieu and combining it with hip hop.
Right.
So then I was like, well, that makes sense, because people came behind them and did it, which was like the Beastie Boys.
And then when Pantera collaborated with NWA.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but my thing was, they were the first people to do it. Now, if we're talking about individuals that transformed the landscape of music being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, this was my example of where it should be split. Because if there was a hip hop Hall of Fame and there's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, then quite frankly, Rick Rubin should have been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and the rap groups that came behind that took his ideas and utilized them in order to further their career and be groundbreaking in that genre and cross over to rock should be in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame, because just like they brought hip hop to rock crowds, rock was brought to hip hop crowds through these individuals too. So they were transformative of the landscape of hip hop as well. But I feel like just because Rick Rubin was the catalyst, and it didn't come as an idea from Run DMC. We're talking about how they were bucking against the idea to begin with.
Yeah.
They didn't even want to do it.
They didn't want to do it. By any means.
So since they didn't want to do it, it's not their work. It's the work that transformed. It's not their idea that was transformative of the genre.
But and you keep bringing up his name, and I can't agree with you enough. Rick Rubin should totally be inducted.
He really should.
He is.
And I don't know
this
what
generation. And this is going to sound corny AF, but I agree with. I totally support this thought. Rick Rubin is the Phil Spector of this generation.
I wholeheartedly agree with you.
And he deserves. And Spector's already in.
Wholeheartedly agree with you.
The work that he did with the Beastie Boys, the work he did with Johnny Cash alone justifies that.
Absolutely. He needs to be in there, and I think it's a travesty and an oversight that he's not.
But again, and this is another thing that we got into very deeply, the fact that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has done nothing more than turn into this smoking club. If you're not associated with the three major labels, or Billboard, or Rolling Stone, then you're not going to get in.
The fallacy of artists making it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on merit, I feel like, is on par with the fallacy of your votes actually meaning something when you have the Electoral College in the middle of it all.
Yeah. And when you one of the things
we'll get into that in another podcast. By the way,
that's another show altogether. But and this is another thing we brought out, and I agree with this. I mean, I've talked about Hugs almost every week on this show. The people that I work with, the Homegrown Underground Sound Show, all these fabulous unsigned artists, just an amazing bevy of talent. The people that you work with, that you and Flint work with Halstead Street,
dude, that has blown up like. That's blown up more than I ever anticipated.
Right.
Because for us to go from, I think it was like 90 or 91. No, it was 20. It was 25 years. So it was, it was probably, I can't do the math right now, but it's been a long time. But to go from there and just basically working with other labels to starting our own label and then winding up having, I think at last count, we've got almost 600 singles on Spotify right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's ridiculous.
But the whole thing is that, and one of the things that Flint was talking about, he says, I think we're starting to run out of talent. We're starting to run out of rockers to induct. No, what needs to happen is that the recording conspiracy and the people in the Rock Hall of Fame need to take another look at the criteria of what makes a great song, or what makes an influential artist, or what makes an innovative artist.
Yep.
And the best example that I can think of, and this is where
starts with a G.
Yes.
Yep.
Gautier.
Yep.
Here's a guy in the Netherlands that put a song on Spotify, and within a week
blew my mind.
Unbelievable.
When I heard that, like I said, I was in that particular phase of my life, I was exploring like adult contemporary and stuff like that. So there's a lot of John Mayer and Plain White Tees and stuff like that.
You were heavily into Sting, if I remember.
Yeah, well, Sting was earlier in my lifetime too. But I mean, like my whole thing was, like I say, it was like John Mayer and folks like that, Plain White Tees and stuff like that. Yep. And then all of a sudden they play this somebody that I used to know. If anybody's wondering what we're talking about,
please go get it. It was
never
heard the song.
Much different. It was so much different from everything else that I was hearing. It's one of those things when you hear a song and you're grooving to it and it goes in a direction. Like, I've listened to a lot of music theory lately, so there's this one principle that I'm not going to get into really, really deeply, but there's a certain pattern to music where your brain has been trained over years. Once you hear a particular chord progression, your brain anticipates that it's going to go in one particular direction, right? It's going to hit some particular key. Mm-hmm. You can't help it. That's just the way that you've been trained. So when you hear somebody like Stevie Wonder put together a song that has that progression in it, and he goes to a key that you're not expecting, in a scale that you're not expecting,
Yes.
and finds a way to take it way around here before it goes back home. It gets your attention and it grabs you. And that's exactly what Gautier did.
It was crazy.
It didn't sound like anything that I'd ever heard. It wasn't played like anything that I'd ever heard.
But yet it sounded so
it
familiar.
was so good.
I remember a mutual friend of ours when they were trying to tell me about it. I'm like, well, what's the song all about? Because I hadn't heard it yet.
Yep.
And the first thing they said was, picture Sting meeting Peter Gabriel at a Kate Bush concert.
Yep. Exactly.
And I went,
exactly.
no, there's no way. This is not happening.
Exactly.
And I went home that night and listened to this. And if you've never heard it, Goetye, Gautier, somebody I used to know. If you've never heard the song, get on YouTube, check this thing out. It's close to 1 billion views. That's how big the song is.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, but it is so much fun to listen to.
It's crazy.
And as far as I'm concerned, the only reason that it's faded into obscurity right now is because of the fickle nature of individuals that listen to music today. Mm-hmm. Like you're going to be famous for that long, and if you're not constantly producing songs that hit the mainstream, then you're going to fade into obscurity. That's just the way it is.
Social media and the internet have a lot to do with that too.
Yep, exactly.
Because people want instant gratification.
Exactly.
Donna is really talking about this. She's like, I agree, a music hall of fame with separate groups. Okay, that's cool. Donna also says, oh, let's not go there. Labels trying to control what music they want us to hear. It's been happening for time eternal, hon. Just get used to it, But again, because of the internet, because of the power of social media, and the fact that because of the internet, the artist has finally surpassed the labels. And this goes back to my original point. People have to take another look at what's out there.
Exactly.
Because there is so much great talent that is not being heard. Thank you, Spotify. Thank you, iTunes. Thank you, Hugs.
And I'm going to tell you one other thing that needs to change in order for music to get back to its heyday.
Okay.
And I know it's not going to change, but I wish that it would.
Okay.
DMCA.
Yes.
Because we've got a lot of individuals who liken themselves to DJs that want to play newer music and can't because of DMCA and the corporations coming after them.
Right.
And I get that the corporations want to make music. It's so much harder to sell an entire album these days because individuals are just looking for those hot singles.
Oh, who are you telling?
And I get it. But you're crippling the individuals that were responsible for promoting your music in the first place.
Yes.
And your music, record labels, if you're listening, your music promotion strategies suck. They absolutely suck.
Well, actually, ASCAP and BMI have a lot to do with that. Because, and ASCAP especially, I can remember hearing a story about a guy, pardon me, in Connecticut. Barbershop in Connecticut.
Okay.
Typical little, small town, Frank's barbershop. He's got a radio playing.
Yep. I know where you're going with this.
And a representative from ASCAP came in and fined him $5,000 on the spot because that radio in that shop, the shop was considered
constitutes a public performance.
Yes. And that's what started DMCA. I blame ASCAP for that.
Okay.
So that means the radio stations are over a barrel. That means the bars are over a barrel. That means that people like you and me are over a barrel. Hold on.
I see your point. But I don't agree that ASCAP was responsible for it because it just popped into my head as we were talking about this.
Okay.
ASCAP was not really interested in making money. They were interested in making sure that their artists got paid, right?
And I agree with that. I'm all about that.
But they would never, I understand that, but they would never go after an individual that was playing music just out and about.
Right.
Okay?
Because ultimately, what is that music?
Where did they get their pressure from? They got their pressure from the labels.
Yeah. Yeah, I
because
agree.
the labels front their artists exorbitant amounts of money to a point where the only money that the artist will actually get outside of their advance is from merchandising and concerts.
And at the same time, let me catch up.
And they have to recoup their money. So it's not the artist that was getting screwed out of the money. It was the record companies, and they were like, "Oh no, we need to stop this ASCAP. You need to do something about this because we're not getting our publishing every time somebody plays this."
And by doing that, what happened ultimately was that all these wonderful promotional tools, jukeboxes, bars, barber shops,
Yep.
PA systems, and hardware stores.
Yep.
All of those went by the wayside,
Yep.
and in the long run, killed the labels and the artist.
Yep.
It did far more damage than good.
Yep.
Let me catch up here real fast. Donna says the bad examples are a great example of guys starting their own label. Yeah, Water Dog Records. I do. Everybody is starting their own. Hell, I've got my own record label. Chris has his own record label. Everybody.
And I'll tell you the person that first freaked everybody out about that. And I don't hate to keep going back to this, but I know you guys are tired of hearing me say this.
I'm gonna predate him, but go ahead.
When Prince got released from his contract with Warner Brothers. And he did Emancipation and all of that. He also did an album, 3121. And in order to promote that album, he arranged it so that SoundScan, the organization that basically tracks your record sales, was at every single concert. And everybody that attended the concert, they got tickets for the concert, got a copy of 3121. Now, you guys may be saying that's cheating. And in a way it is, but the way that it was phrased, when you bought the ticket, you bought a ticket for the album. That was your claim check for the album. So when you purchased it, you actually purchased his album. And when you went to go pick it up, he made sure that it was scanned by SoundScan.
That is so cool.
And you got to stick around for a free concert.
That is so cool.
And when he did that, the record industry organizations collectively lost their minds.
Yep.
What are we going to do if everybody starts adopting this model and we can't make money anymore?
Exactly. But it's just the way that people are distributing their music these days. It is such it's such a freedom, and the recording conspiracy just doesn't get it. I've got 2 albums out. I've got 4 singles out.
Yep.
Chris has got 2 albums out.
Well, I've got an album and I'm working on the second one right now.
Well, okay. Well, that's even better.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that all of this great music, present company excluded, of course.
Yeah, for real. Don't look me up.
No,
Whatever
yeah,
you
you're
do,
not.
don't
You're
look me
proud,
up,
okay.
please.
I'm doing this for the money. Because I'm out of work, listen to what Donna says. But yeah.
Come on, our music gets no respect at all.
No, tough crowd, I want to tell you. I have no idea where that came from. But it's the musicians and the artists are just, there's so much of it out there. And some of the stuff that I've heard is just, it had set the recording industry back 30 years. Some of the stuff that I've heard. It's incredible. I have a group of friends that are in Pennsylvania right now. Great band, Yigga Digga. These guys have opened for Pantera. They've opened for Slayer. They've opened for Rage. Are they getting a deal? No, because, they're just not up to the RIAA standards. Screw that. They've played in front of 50,000 people. They've got 2 albums out, and they kick ass. Go buy them. Yigga Digga. I dare you.
And they can't get a deal with a major label, which means that they're not going to have the marketing engine behind them that they need in order to become a mainstay of popular music.
And they should be because they're so good. I've got to play. I got to play the first album for you, No Limiter. It's just unbelievable. Tristan says, "I love NSYNC. I miss that group singing." Which brings me back to the the progressive. The progressive insurance commercial. Have you seen that?
Yes, I have.
The 3/5
have.
of NSYNC.
No, you know what that brings me back to? Whose line is it anyway?
Yes.
When Drew Carey was hosting, he used to sit up at the beginning of every show and he'd be like, "Welcome to Whose Line Is It Anyway?" That's right. This is the show where everything's made up and the points don't matter. And he would always throw something in there that was arbitrary. I will never forget this one line that he did where he said, "Yeah, where the points don't matter, kind of like swapping a member of the Backstreet Boys with a member of NSYNC." Yeah. And I was just like, you're right.
And anybody that's ever been in Menudo.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We'll tell you the story about Menudo on another podcast, on another YouTube stream.
Yeah. I'll tell you that story. My nieces and we got to meet them when Menudo first came to the States.
Wait, which ones?
The original with Ricky Martin and what's his name?
He wasn't part of the original. That's what I'm telling you. Menudo.
Well, no, when Menudo came to the States.
But Menudo as a group, and I'm not going to get into the history of it because we're running low on time.
Yeah.
But Menudo as a group, because they were real popular and they used to have these little vignettes that would come on between Saturday morning cartoons when I was younger. Okay. And I was wondering,
I don't remember this,
and I was wondering, like, who is Menudo? And I started looking stuff up, and it was harder back then because no internet.
Right.
But I started looking them up, and what Menudo was a boy band group that only took members between the ages of 13 and 18 years old. Once you aged out, you got replaced by somebody else.
Yes.
And they are a long-standing group.
They're still around.
And they are still around. But if you reach the age 19, you have aged out of the group and you can no longer perform with them. And I thought that was like the most ridiculous thing in the world. But it causes longevity.
And my niece, a real quick story, my brother-in-law worked for a Spanish radio station.
Mm-hmm.
And they were promoting Menudo coming to the States. Mm-hmm. They were part of that promotion.
Mm-hmm.
Brought my nieces, who at the time were maybe about 10 and 12 years old. So, I mean, you're talking perfect demographic.
Right.
And they got to meet Menudo. They got to meet Ricky Martin. And they were just, oh, Ricky. And, they were as crazy as 10 and 12-year-olds can be about Ricky Martin.
That was the upside.
Yeah. Well, the downside was later on when they found out what that was all about.
Turned him inside out.
Yes, he did.
Living La Vida Loca.
Yes, he did. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
As they found out later, and boy, were they were heartbroken.
Wait, here's the thing. I heard when he came out, I heard the collective hearts of 20 billion teenage girls just breaking all at the same time. And then, shortly thereafter, when George Michael stepped out.
Yes.
And I heard the collective hearts
6-month period
of teens and young adults collectively breaking all at the same time.
It was crazy.
I wish that I could just run out on the street and drink their delicious tears. I swear to God. Oh, that would have been so much fun. Oh, yes, your tears, they're so tasty. They're so salty and delicious.
I will be your father figure. Yes, indeed.
Oh, my God.
Little hand in mine.
Oh,
and
man.
I'll lead you into the men's room there in the woods.
Hilarious.
Oh,
absolutely
God.
hilarious.
That whole 6-month period
was
like...
and women's collective cry. Can't we have anybody? Jeez.
Yes.
And welcome to the new world.
And on that note, can we repeat? Happy Pride Day.
I know,
Happy Pride
right?
Month, everybody.
Happy Pride.
So on that note, we'll start to...
You know what? There's one thing that I do want to do.
Okay.
And I'm gonna.
About a minute.
I know I won't be here to do this regularly.
Okay.
But what I want to do is I want to recommend an artist during Pride Month.
Okay.
That happens to be part of the Alphabet Crew. I'll call it like that.
Okay. Okay. That's I'll
hard to spell, easy to pronounce. Michelle Ndegeocello.
Yes.
She is amazing.
Bass
and
player
she does
extraordinaire.
And she does go by she, her So
Yeah.
those are her pronouns. But
You have heard, and you
Check
have heard,
her out.
and you have heard her work. She sang and played bass with John Mellencamp on Mellencamp's remake of
Wild
Wild
Night.
Night.
Yep.
Now, among other things. She has a solo album that's unbelievable. So yeah, we'll do that in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, that's a project.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan to me. Okay. Well, on that note, we'll go ahead and we'll wrap it up as we've given you our little musical rant for the week.
Yeah,
I
basically.
guess you could call that. Yeah,
Basically.
we got off on that. Thank you to everybody that has been watching and putting up with us and all that great stuff.
Putting up with us, putting up with me.
I'm
I'm the one that runs it off the rails all the time. So, you know.
If you admit the problem, pal. But yeah, do me a favor. Just even if you don't, subscribe or hit the notification, which I wish you would, because I really want to get up to 100 subscribers and really boost my ego. But just hit the like. Hit the like. Give us a like, because that tells other people about this show, and we really would appreciate it. But yeah, in the meantime, thank you ever so much for being here. We certainly appreciate it. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We're almost out of this COVID thing real soon. Next week, got a little bit of a surprise announcement concerning an appearance of Gainer. We'll talk about that next week. In the meantime, be good to yourselves. Like, subscribe. In other words, if you like it, hey, you know what to do. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you next week. We out. Peace.